I was like, oh my goodness. But they got a lot of turmoil stuff going on within the team. And then, personally, internally, they got a lot of stuff going on too that shouldn't be in the news that people don't know about. It's like, calm down, man. Play football. Leave them girls alone. Oh, did I say that? Anyway, I'm just telling you.
And do they have some turmoil on that team?
Yeah,
a little bit. After this show, I'd love to hear.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
I did hear Colin Kaepernick is one of the guys that really hasn't struck a relationship with a lot of his teammates. He's known going around the facility with his Bose headphones, or what are they? Beats by Dre. And just kind of secludes himself from the team. You can't do that if you want to be a successful quarterback in the NFL.
And you must not be a good student. You got Kurt Warner teaching you.
Right.
Wasn't that right? Kurt Warner.
The Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner's like, I'm going to give you the money back, man, because you're making me look bad. You're making me look bad. Take the money back.
It shows what a great coach Jim Harbaugh is, right? Because he made Kaepernick look like a Pro Bowler.
Yes.
I mean, he was
went to the Super Bowl.
They could have won the Super Bowl with Kaepernick. I mean, unbelievable. And now, man, he's close to being not starting.
He's close to being out of the league.
Well, I was saying yesterday, who's going to get pulled first, Kaepernick or Carson Palmer? Because I thought they'd get Palmer out of the game, keep him safe. Because I thought they were going to have to yank Kaepernick too. He was shell shocked, man.
Yeah.
He was playing scary.
After that third one, he was just like, "What is this? What am I going through?"
Right.
Well, you talk about how explosive the offense is, but again, that defense, 2 weeks in a row now, the Cardinals have a cushion before really they get the offense even going.
Is there a better person to root for than Tyrann Matthews right now?
I mean,
is there anybody better to root for?
We talked about that last night too.
Anybody
just
better
the way he is completely turned around his whole life and his whole image, a complete 180.
Just humble, just thankful, just appreciative. Good things happen to good people, I'm telling you.
It was not
when
that long ago.
You do right, gotta look out for you.
It was not that long ago he was getting kicked off the LSU football team.
It was done.
Now he's signing autographs longer than anyone else. He's all about the awareness for the.
And you know what? You gotta, sometimes you gotta fall.
Yeah.
To realize how good you really have it or what you've missed, and then when you come back stronger and you appreciate things, and I really think that that's what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And then the success he's having is adding to that, which makes for.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And here's, I think, the difference with Tyrann too is, you see this with athletes a lot of time where they try to rehabilitate their image and it's completely phony.
Yes.
Right? And with Tyrann, it's all natural. It's all sincere. It's all organic.
Yes.
And that's his true self, I think, coming out, and it's manifesting itself on the field.
Yeah, and I think that's why people like him too, because it isn't fake. Yeah. It isn't like, okay, now we need you to do this. We're going to go to the school today, and we're going to talk to the students, and then we're going to give out some shoes.
I got to go to that charity event
and
again.
We got to do the charity. He didn't do any of that. It's just, I'm doing what I'm doing.
And I think you have to give Patrick Peterson a lot of credit because he is his mentor. They played together in college, and Patrick's a stable guy, no question. He needed that. You come to Phoenix, that's a long way from Louisiana.
Yeah, it is.
This is a different place than Baton Rouge. It's just different. So for him to have a familiar face, especially someone mature like Patrick Peterson,
and you can get in more trouble here because Baton Rouge is little. Phoenix is big.
Right. Yeah.
Nightclubs, the guys, the girls.
Plus, they can get you out of trouble in Baton Rouge.
Yes,
they don't care.
They want to get you there.
Yeah,
they're waiting on you.
Les Miles just does his clap, and magic happens.
Yeah.
So
what's that clap again?
What does this?
Okay.
Never this.
Except with that, he's got that face.
Yeah, right. Mad Hatter face. So 3 straight Mondays where Cardinal fans are through the roof, and even more good news today when Bruce Arians says, we're flat out healthy. We really are injury free heading into week 3. I know, but still, I mean, even more good news. How big is that to keep your team relatively intact heading into week 4?
I know Big Ben's gone.
Yeah, right.
After I saw Big Ben, I was like, "Ooh, get Carson out, please get Carson out." I'm wondering what's going to happen.
We were saying the same thing.
But I think they know what they're doing, and they're not playing scared. I mean, when you start playing scared, I think that's when things happen.
Yeah.
You start playing scared. When you start playing, hey, we got to get this guy out, or we shouldn't do this. I think that's.
You're right, and that will not happen with the Cardinals. As a matter of fact, they are just attack. They're aggressive in everything they do. That's an Arian style. So I don't see him changing and saying we're going to take Carson Palmer out of the game. I asked him about it yesterday, or somebody did, and he said, no, we're not going to do that. The game was still in doubt. So, Snake, just talk about the fact that this is so exciting because you really have to understand how bad the Cardinals were for so long. And then it's almost like you have to, is this really happening? Right, when you watch them dominate like this, it's almost like you can't believe
You
it.
wouldn't even talk about them on the radio
No.
like on Monday. You were just like, did you go to the game? Yeah, I went to the game to hang out and have some fun.
Yeah.
Now,
We certainly
you
wouldn't be
go
having
to
a
the game.
webcast.
You know what's funny? It's very true. I was thinking that. You want me to do what? You guys got a web? Are you,
Now we have a team to talk
They
about.
got a team to talk about. But you know what's interesting? It's switching. You know this. This was Suns country.
Right.
Since I was 10 years old, John McLeod era, it has never been Cardinals. It is all about. The Suns have a media day today. Who cares? Talking about the Cardinals.
Right.
Right.
3-0.
Or unfortunately, everybody's talking about Markieff Morris.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
do we really
it's
care?
still in the headlines.
When are we going to do what we need to do?
Yeah, and
Right.
the Cardinals are the
Right.
exact opposite. It's all team.
Yes.
Right? You're not like focused
Yeah.
on one individual.
And then I don't think that's such a good ideal as well. Like, you know this, and I can say this. It would not happen when Jerry. Yo, we don't have that here. We don't do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't play. That's what I like about Arian.
Yeah.
He reminds me of that. Like, hey, we don't play here.
No nonsense.
You come, you work, you play, you don't do the job. You
gone.
gotta go.
You're gone.
You acting up in the community, you in it. Bye.
Right.
We don't have time for that. And that's one thing I used to try to really reiterate to all the players, when they get that snake and doctorate.
Right.
Bro.
That's right.
Have fun. Don't act
Hashtag
up.
snake and doctrine.
Don't
Tweet
act
it.
up.
That's right.
They don't play here.
Yeah.
You can't do what you do in those other cities.
Yeah.
They don't play here.
They don't play
know.
here. You know who else doesn't play here? The Cardinal
Yeah.
fans. I mean, talk about that home field advantage. We talked about it the first couple weeks of the season, how it's one of the best home field advantages in the league.
It was so loud. I was surprised how many 49er fans came. I hit up one of my DJ buddies. He was like,
Quick flight,
dude,
San
get your
Fran."
people out of here, man. What are
Yeah,
you doing
yeah,
here? What are you-
right.
like there were some times when people were clapping and screaming. I was like,
Who
"Is
are
that
you?"
many 49er fans here?
Yeah.
Well,
But it was
they didn't
cool.
have a
They
lot
all
to
had-
cheer
yeah,
about
no, they
yesterday.
didn't. And I like that even more. But Cardinal fans, crazy. Like, it's almost like a ritual now. I'm going to the Cardinal game. I don't care if I'm sitting in the upper decks with a
Yep.
nosebleed. I'm going to the Cardinal
Cardinal
game,
game.
which I do. Cardinal. Come on, Larry.
Yeah.
Can you work on my seats, bro?
Nosebleed.
Have me up here, man.
I'll say this. I've been in so many different NFL stadiums, and I really have to give Cardinal fans credit. And I think part of the deal is there's not 5 or 6 generations
Yes.
of fans here.
Yeah.
It's so new. The success is new. People really love this team. They accept it as part of the community, and it makes it so fresh and exciting. There isn't anybody that goes to a game that doesn't have a jersey on, or a T-shirt, or isn't wearing red. I don't know if they allow them in the building if they didn't. And like you, Snake, yesterday, it hurts your ears.
No, it did.
It's so
Right,
loud.
yeah.
After
when
that second
when they do
interception
that-
for a touchdown, it was
yeah,
so loud.
right. Or when they go third down, those
Yeah.
people go nuts. Man. I love that.
Skeg, I made the point earlier in the show too. When the Cardinals played like they did yesterday, it's almost like the Suns back in the day, where it's not a game.
yes.
It's more of an entertainment event, and you're just waiting for the next big
It's a
play.
show.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's choreographed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just there for the fans. It's exciting. It's a TV production,
Funny.
and you forget, this is a competitive game,
Yeah.
right? But it was so
Well, it
dominant.
wasn't.
Right.
You know what I like
Up
about the
40,
Cardinals
yeah.
too? That even if they lose, they're not losing like ASU. I mean, they're doing like they.
Don't get me started.
How subtle, Snake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just
they
slither in.
if
doesn't
they
it?
lose, you're like, it's all right because they played so hard or they're so exciting. When you see something that's exciting, you don't mind. Or you're like, that's all right, we got them next week. But when you lose, ASU, and you get destroyed, you kind of are like, what is this?
Right.
What is this?
Again, guys, we want to hear from you, 602-685-3017, or use the hashtag ABC15 cards. DJ Super Snake on the hot seat right now. Your pick and score prediction for Week 4. Yeah, take your time.
Oh, I'm supposed to tell you.
Yeah.
Are you channeling
I thought they
it
went
to
to
us,
commercials or something. I'm all like, Snake, it's live, dum-dum. Oh.
We get no commercial breaks
Snake's
here.
really breaking this one down.
That's
Big
right.
one.
21-7. Cardinals.
21-7?
What do you got, Snake?
21-7 Cardinals.
We'll get to ours in a little bit.
21-7 Cardinals.
In the book right now. Here we go. Before we let you go, Super Snake.
Yes, sir.
We've got a tweet from Mark Johnson.
Hi, Mark.
Arizona is the better team over Denver because they have become one of the most balanced teams, if not the most balanced team. Thank you, Mark Johnson.
I agree with that.
Super Snake agrees with you.
I agree with that.
I wasn't impressed with Denver last night.
Not at all.
That was a very boring
But
game
are they
to
the most
watch.
balanced?
Is Denver the most balanced?
Yeah.
No, I would think the
That's what
Cards
they're
are
saying.
right now. I would think the Cardinals.
I like the Bengals better than Denver in the AFC right now.
Really?
And I just don't. I don't think the Broncos have enough big play capabilities. I mean, they have Peyton Manning, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I think you take
Demaryius.
Peyton Manning out of the picture, and it's like, okay, we're wondering. But then everyone would say the same thing for us. If we took Carson Palmer out, where would we be?
100%. And that brings
In
us
big
back
trouble,
to
no
why
question.
was he in the game when it's a 5-possession game? And that is your season. The Cardinals know better than anyone. That is your season behind center. What was he thinking? I love Bruce, but
he's a coach. We don't know.
yeah,
We don't want to be sports talk guys.
that's right.
But
Too late. We are.
Yeah. But I was sitting there too, like, get him out of it.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
for the fans, we want to see it as much as we can.
Come on. Like you said, when you're up that much, it's like, all right, I get it, but come on.
I was saying last night on the 10 o'clock news, you can't get hurt when you have a baseball cap on the sideline and you're holding the
can't do it.
clipboard.
Yeah.
Get him out of the game.
Yeah.
Imagine the regret you would feel. You're up by 24 points and something does happen. I mean, you don't even want to think that way or put it out in the universe.
Sure.
But I'm just saying it is something to talk about. And I guess my thought is don't have him in there when the game's completely out of hand. I'd say midway through the fourth quarter on.
Yeah, I would agree.
Once he got that first touchdown pass in the third quarter, Larry Fitzgerald, it was 38-7. Why not put him on the sideline? I guess we can
And then get some reps for our other guy, man. He's going to need it because
right.
at some point we're going to need him.
Yeah. Well, we needed him
We're
to.
going to need him.
We needed him to down it the last series, and that's literally all Drew Stanton did yesterday. Carson legitimately played all 4 quarters, but
What's your favorite? What's your favorite of the Cardinals right now? What do you guys like?
what I like to see,
No, what do you like about the team where you're like, not as a reporter or an anchor, but as a fan, like, what do you like?
all the weapons, man. Like we said earlier, this offense is doing things that no team has done in NFL history. I mean, the statistics don't lie. The fact, if Carson Palmer stays healthy, and it's such a huge factor, he's got so many weapons, this team. And the fact that the defense is actually stepping up to the plate, gosh, the sky's the limit for this team.
What about you?
Yeah, Snake, I like the fact that they have a unique style that I think is completely like any other team in the NFL. They play faster. They're always on attack mode. They're aggressive. And there's really no egos. I mean, those are some good dudes to be around. I think Cardinal fans, you can be really, really proud of the fact that there's some good guys on this team, easy to cheer for, and especially so when they're doing so well. So my point, you give them 3 or 4 more weeks, the rest of the country is really going to be dialed in. If they keep performing even close to what they've done the last few weeks, everyone around the country is really going to love this team because they're fun to watch.
That running game opens up the offense. I think that's why Larry had a good game as well, is because when that running game opens up, that allows you to make those slot passes.
Oh, and you have the speed of John Brown on the outside, and you have to respect him. You have to. He's their number 1 threat. You have a tight end, 2 tight ends that are legit right now.
Had that.
And then you have Chris Johnson, and it's just opening up those seams. And Larry's a master of just coming in underneath the coverage and finding the hole.
Just finding that hole right in
he's
there,
catching
that
everything
zone,
that's
right in the
coming
middle of
his
that
way.
zone.
Last thing before we let you go, Super Snake. Who stole the headlines really the first 2 weeks of this season? The rookie, David Johnson.
Yes.
Wasn't necessarily a factor yesterday,
Yes.
but that's a good thing, is it not?
Yes, it is. See, again, that's somebody else. We like him. He didn't really play. He didn't really do anything. It doesn't matter because he did so good the other first 2 games. And we know he's going to get even better. Like, it's good. Like, you don't have to do good every week, because if you get good every week, then you start feeling your oats, as we like to say.
That's right.
And you don't want a rookie, having that much responsibility
No.
for one thing. I thought it was odd because he did do so well. He had his jersey and his cleats in Canton, Ohio,
Already.
after the first 2 games. He only had 9 touches those first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he had done so well. Yesterday, I felt like he didn't even get in the game. I don't even remember
And I think
him.
that's the coach, too, sometimes. I really do think, Arian, he does that. Like, I think he knows what he's doing and be like, slow down, son.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think everything that he does is strategic. The little lines he'll have. Like during training camp, I was out for training camp every day, and he was getting very frustrated with the fact that Johnson wasn't out there. He had tweaked his hamstring, right? The first time David Johnson tried to show off that speed in training camp, he hurt his hamstring. So they never really saw him. He wasn't on the field. Coaches were getting really frustrated, and Arians flat out said, how can we tell how good he's got to get on the field?
Right.
Next day, he's out at practice. Literally the next day, David Johnson is out there practicing. And then he had that one nice preseason game.
Yeah.
And the rest is, he's improved every single week. So he's strategic. There isn't any throwaway lines that he has during his press conferences. It's pretty funny.
I think it also, another factor is kind of us the media. I mean, David Johnson was in the center of a circus last week. So I'm sure Bruce Arians a little bit says, let's get Chris Johnson the main load and maybe not have such a distraction with David Johnson coming next week.
Hey, the brothers Johnson will get ready soon.
That's
Strawberry Letter 23. You're too young for that. Me and Senator. You're too young buck. I'll teach you.
Thanks,
Everyone
man.
at home's like, oh, I know
I got
that
you.
one. Brothers Johnson, you're too young. You don't know about that yet.